New tonight, the Lewis and Clark County Commission approved a plan to place armed security officers at the county courthouse. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian reports on what the new security measures will mean for those going to the courthouse.
Starting this fall, Lewis and Clark County will be stepping up security screenings for people entering the county courthouse. The County Commission approved a contract Tuesday with the security firm Securitas to place 3 armed security officers inside the courthouse on weekdays. County leaders say there wasn't a particular incident that led them to this decision, and that they've been looking at adding security for years.
We've received letters over the years from the judges expressing concern about security at the courthouse, and we've always, as a commission, since I've been here, we've talked about wanting to address this issue and needing to address this issue.
Once the new officers are on duty, the county plans to require everyone entering the courthouse to come through one door and go through a security screening.
If you're coming to the courthouse to conduct a business, be aware of what's in your pockets, what's in your backpacks. If it's the kind of thing that could be a weapon of any kind, it'll be screened and you won't be allowed to bring it into the courthouse.
Angie Sparks, the county's clerk of district court, said she's convinced these extra security measures are needed.
You don't think that it's going to happen because we're a smaller town in Montana, but it's not a matter of when or if, it's when.
The county won't start enforcing the new security procedures until all the screening equipment is in place and the training is completed. County leaders say they hope that will be in about 3 weeks. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Securitas also provides security for other institutions in Helena, including the Montana State Capitol and Carroll College. And also today, the County Commission held interviews with 4 candidates to become Lewis and Clark County's treasurer, clerk, and recorder. Commissioners narrowed the list to 4 finalists out of about 12 people who applied for the position. The candidates are Lori Hom, Nan LaFay, Melinda Reed, and Amy Reeves. The commission will consider appointing one of them at their meeting Thursday morning. They'll replace Paulette DeHart, who's retiring September 25th. The treasurer, clerk, and recorder oversees a variety of county functions, including elections, motor vehicle titling, property tax collection, and official records. And now it's time for First Weather with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
A little different today than yesterday when we were, of course, looking at snow and rain and cold temperatures and wind, McDonald Pass, and really the entire state. Beautiful, crisp, sunny. On the cool side, though, you can still see a little bit of some snow off there in the distance. And up on Bozeman Pass, of course, right near the Bridger Foothills fire, still a couple of patches of snow out there. Looks a little hazy, a little smoldering going on from that fire just north of Bozeman there at the south end of the Bridger. We'll take a closer look at the fire situation across the state coming up. But take a look at the morning temperatures out there down into the teens for the Little Belt Mountains, Culbertson, way up northeast Montana at 17 degrees, Elk Park at 20, White Sulphur Springs 21 degrees, Geyser at 24. These were just a few of the chillier numbers that I was able to see. But more frost on the pumpkin tonight if you have a pumpkin out there early. Sunny and settled though the rest of the week. Some unusual weather is coming to Montana. Unusually quiet, that is, and for the time being, blazes are at bay. That rain and the snow and the cool temperatures certainly has done wonders for our wildfires. We'll talk more about that coming up in the full forecast.
Thanks for that, Curtis. Now turning to state coronavirus numbers, Montana added 66 COVID-19 cases today. It's the second consecutive day with fewer than 100 new cases. However, total active cases of COVID-19 are back over 2,000 for the first time since last week. And COVID-19 related deaths rose by 1 to 120. More than 160 people are currently hospitalized. Just over 6,000 Montana cases are considered recovered. And over in Flathead County, the Whitefish City Council will vote tonight on an emergency gathering ordinance for downtown. Officials say this comes after protests and demonstrations have taken over the sidewalks on Baker Avenue near City Hall. Demonstrators often prevent pedestrians from using the sidewalk, and demonstrator flags often block drivers from seeing around corners, according to Whitefish City Manager Dana Smith. If passed, the ordinance would prevent large groups from demonstrating from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
But what we're looking at is we are still providing the community and any individual the right to peacefully assemble and protest and freedom of expression. But it's in a reasonable time, place, and manner.
Smith says the Whitefish Police Department has been working overtime to provide support and mitigate the protests. She says if there are groups larger than 75, those groups need to get a permit with the city to demonstrate. If the ordinance is passed, Smith says anyone in violation could be charged with a misdemeanor citation. After a brief hiatus, the Farmers to Families Food Box program is back in Helena. MTN's John Riley has more on some of the changes to the program.
This summer, nearly 75 million Farmers to Families food boxes were distributed across the country, with well over 10,000 distributed in the Helena community alone. After 2 weeks off due to funding, the program will now be offered on 2 days in the greater Helena area. On Tuesdays, people can pick up boxes behind the Helena Food Share Lewis Street Pantry. And on Wednesdays, boxes can be picked up at Living Hope Fellowship on 4954 Arrowhead Drive. Helena Food Share Executive Director Bruce Day says the program has been a big help in fighting hunger during the pandemic.
We just hear so many people that are telling us how helpful this has been to them to help stretch at this time when they're really maybe struggling. To be honest, we've had people that have gotten these food boxes and then become aware of the food that's available on a day-to-day basis at Helena Food Share.
The program was created to help support farmers and ranchers that suddenly had no place to send their food when restaurants shut down, and help struggling families with food insecurity in the process. Each box contains regionally grown and made produce, meat, and/or dairy products. There are no qualifications, questions, or forms to sign in order to receive a Farmers to Family food box. Helena Food Share says the program right now is expected to last through October, and they will provide more updates on social media. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
Head over to our website, ktvh.com, to find more information about the Farmers to Families Food Box program and how you can support Food Share's mission to end hunger in our community. And the Air Force announced today it awarded Northrop Grumman the contract to upgrade the nation's ground-based intercontinental ballistic missile program. The contract is valued at $13.3 billion. According to a news release, the upgrades will enhance and improve the U.S.'s ability to maintain its nuclear deterrent system by keeping it relevant and affordable while increasing accuracy, security, and reliability. The contract covers engineering and manufacturing of the new system. The Air Force aims to have the project completed by the late 2020s. Malmstrom Air Force Base in Great Falls is home to the 341st Missile Wing and one of 3 U.S. Air Force bases that maintains and operates the Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile. And still ahead on the news at 6, the Lewis and Clark Library is checking out of their Capitol branch. What's coming up next?
News Leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the news at 6. After 2.5 months, the Lewis and Clark Library will check out of their Capitol branch this weekend. The library is closing the location to move their materials back to the main library branch, which is on track to open for pickups and holds September 21st. Patrons are encouraged to stock up on materials before the branch closes at 6 p.m. on Saturday. In all, staff will be moving and finding a home for more than 90,000 items at the newly remodeled main branch.
Because we are moving and rearranging collections at the main library still, there might be some delays in getting holds. If you put something on hold, you might not get it right away. We're going to have some trouble finding things because every book in the building will need to be moved from its current place to its final place.
The Bookmobile in East Helena, Lincoln, and Augusta branches will remain open, but may have limited access for items from the main branch. The book drop-off will remain at the Capitol branch for the remainder of the month. And the Butte Archives will teach residents how to preserve some of the history captured in the mining city's cemeteries. The archive is hosting a workshop at the St. Patrick's Cemetery to show people how to properly clean and repair headstones. The cemetery is located off South Montana Street. And to teach restoration techniques, the cemetery has brought in monuments conservator Jonathan Appel from Washington, D.C.
It'll be great to show how to clean headstones. Some of the headstones are tilting, so he'll show us how to they can fix and lift them up to restore them that way. Lichen, which can grow on headstones and obscure the wording on a headstone, he'll show how to clean that off.
All right, now let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz with what's coming up in weather.
Well, the storm that went through Montana yesterday is now Colorado's problem. Imagine the traffic around the Denver area with a heavy burst of snow coming down. I'll let you know if we'll see any more of this anytime soon. Coming up next.
It's now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Fall certainly in the air here across the state today. Not too many complaints about that. Not too many complaints about a warm-up on the way as well. Clear skies, 57 degrees in Helena. Still a little snow-capped peaks up there over the Highwood Mountains. Great Falls looking at a temperature of 55 degrees. Both areas right around the freezing point earlier this morning. A lot of the state was down in the upper 20s and the lower 30s earlier today. Look at the numbers out there right now. Still some areas, especially in southern Montana, into the 40s. There's Cut Bank all the way up at 60 degrees. Our wildfires, all of the wildfires saw precipitation, very beneficial moisture on these fires. The Bridger Foothills fire, showed you that live cam from Bozeman Pass there, and still a little kind of smoky in the area, but saw significant rain and snow. That fire up over 7,000 acres, still 0% contained. This fire, the State Creek fire southwest of Boulder, went from 40 acres last week to over 2,000 acres. Good rain and snow on that one as well. The Drumming fire up here southwest of Hart Butte, south of Browning, 3,000 acres, but no growth since really Sunday night. The Huff fire is out. This one blew through the east side of Jordan, almost 47,000 acres, 100% contained. The Bobcat fire, 30,000 acres, cost of almost $3 million, 23 homes have been taken by that fire. Sarpy fire is up to 70% contained, this one east of Hardin, and just north of Ashland, the Rice and the Snyder fires, over 50,000 acres combined. Look at that containment, 100%. Mother Nature helping firefighters get some progress on the fires here. And of course, the storm now moving down into Colorado and Utah here. Big dip in the jet stream dragging down much colder than normal air here for this time of year. So technically the fires that are still active here in the state, but that north flow also pushed a lot of that wildfire smoke out of the picture. I showed you a little high pressure up over the Pacific Northwest. Well, what that's doing is producing an easterly wind here, and that's blowing a lot of the smoke from wildfires all the way up through Washington, Oregon, Northern California, out into the eastern Pacific. When that wind does switch around and come back out of the southwest here, some of that smoke is likely heading back here to Big Sky country. Clear skies tonight. Tomorrow should be nice and clear, a little warmer, not much in the way of wind. Same goes for Thursday. A couple of showers, maybe southeast Montana coming up here on Friday, but just about every single day will be sunny, and we'll have temperatures coming up a little bit this weekend. Looks very nice with highs in the 70s and the 80s, mostly sunny skies, both Saturday and Sunday. Maybe a couple of showers coming into the state next Tuesday. Here's the forecast for tonight. Not as cold as last night here. The air mass is already starting to warm up, but there will be some areas with frost and or freezing temperatures. I think out in the Helena Valley will likely be down around 31, 32 degrees, maybe closer to Lake Helena there, but not as cold tonight, but a pretty night nonetheless, and a pretty couple of days here over the next few days. Mostly sunny skies for Wednesday, 60s and 70s. If that's not warm enough for you, maybe Thursday will be highs in the 70s and a couple of 80s popping up here on the map. Friday, if it's not warm enough for you yet, we'll go up into the 80s for a lot of the state, 70s and 80s. Little afternoon breeze, maybe up to 15, 20 miles per hour, but really not a lot of wind over the next several days. And then getting into Saturday, a little high pressure kind of pushing some of the 80s further towards the south. A little breezy in the afternoon, but 70s and 80s with, once again, mostly sunny skies. Here's the 7-day forecast for the capital area, up through the 70s the next couple of days. The wind is light. Fall is in the air, but summer's back. Friday, Saturday, even Sunday and Monday, we're up into the 80s. Very dry, though, here. Not a drop in sight. Maybe a shower up there around Great Falls by next Tuesday, but we've got several days, almost like San Diego weather, 70s and 80s without much going on.
Coming up, how pedal power is helping protect one of Western Montana's scenic valleys.
Montana's news leader. You're watching